If you had told me back in 2016 that I would be fighting the fight of my life to save my child and that my world would go upside down because she had become involved with internet sexual predators, I would have said, no way, not me. I talk to my child. I'm a stay-at-home mom. We have these conversations. We live in a nice neighborhood. She goes to nice schools. We go to church on Sunday. As it turns out, it was me and it was my daughter.
I've been working in the mental health field since about 1998. In the course of my career, I used to work with kids that were at risk of removal from the home either because of abuse or neglect. Part of what happened from 1998 to current is that some of the cases that were coming to me from the Department of Social Services are that children have been exposed to seeing someone look at pornography or actually have accessing it. The department was then trying to figure out who the perpetrator was because these kids were going and then having issues with problematic sexual behavior, particularly at school. So it threw me into a situation of trying to understand the trauma and the attachment wounding that was happening, and also what was happening in our technology that these families and children were having access to this.
My name is Kevin Roughton. I work for the State Bureau of Investigation. I am the special agent in charge of our computer crimes unit. I run our unit internally, but also am the commander of the North Carolina Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force. The Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force was implemented in the late 90s, and it kind of does what you would expect a Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force to do, is to protect children on the internet. Back in 2020, there was this thing called COVID that happened. In March and April of 2020, we were averaging through 2019, and just to go back historically from that, like in 2018, we received 4,400 cyber tips, and in 2019 we received 4,900. Okay, well that kind of makes sense. Where technology increases, it expands a little bit. There's a few more. What happened in 2020 was unprecedented because it not quite but nearly doubled. Again, it kind of makes sense. I mean, COVID hit, and we took most of the people that were working and we put them virtual, and we took all the kids that were in school and we put them virtual, and so everybody's online, and literally we probably had more people online at the same time than ever before in the history of the world. So you would expect when that happens that there's going to be more crime on the internet. There's going to be more cyber tips, cyber crimes, more impact on internet crimes against children, because you've got all these kids that are doing virtual school and learning more about that, and you've got everybody else online as well. What we didn't expect is going into 2021, how that would just continue to go up. And by the end of last year, most people were back at work, and really for the most part, most all kids were back in school, most places, but our numbers continue to go up. And if you look at the last couple of months of 2021, you'll see that they were the biggest months out of that. But then really the shocking thing beyond that was coming into 2022. It's like we've just hit overdrive.
My name is John Van Arnam. I'm the founder of The Third Talk. This is a big problem. We have a big problem. This came so fast. In 2004, Visa and MasterCard had put this behind a credit card-backed firewall that was so safe and secure, kids couldn't see it. And in 2005, it became free and ubiquitous on every single social media platform, every phone, every laptop, every Kindle, every PlayStation, every Xbox, wham! And our parents never had this conversation with us, so we were not pre-prepared to have this conversation with our kids. Problem that we have, 75% of parents don't believe that their kids will ever see it. Now in 2016, 94% of boys and 68% of girls viewed this content on purpose before they left high school, and 75% of the parents didn't think they'd ever see it or ever had. That is what we have to get past. This is not I have a bad kid or I'm a bad parent. This is all of us. What do we do about that? It can seem daunting, and when I'm talking to parents pre the coaching that I do with them and their families, they will say to me, this feels like climbing up Mount Everest in flip-flops. It feels like it's an impossible task. It feels like something that there's no way that we could possibly do. And I want you to know that nothing could be further from the truth. Not only is it possible, but it's happening. It's happening. We are having these conversations very, very successfully.